Hello and welcome back. This is Arnav Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, arunfoot, and it's another edition of the Indian football discussion, our daily conversations on what all is happening in Indian football. And a little while back, we had an India Super League game in which FC Goa hosted Punjab FC, and the Gores beat the Shares 2-1 in the end in another exciting encounter. And let's see what we're going to talk about as well. Hi, Kumar. Northeast looks like a dark horse. Yes, Shumit, that could very well be the case for Northeast United. So therefore, yeah, those are interesting times, an interesting scenario to look at the league table and what is all happening with the teams. And it always, good evening, Geron Rare, if you're watching it live or later on, maybe deferred. If you like what you've seen, do leave a like behind on this video. Do share it with other people that they potentially, while we're still live, could join us. And of course, subscribe to the channel arunfoot here on YouTube and on other social medias. 1,901 subscribers. So thank you. Yesterday we crossed the 1,900 mark. So therefore now the next aim is, of course, 2K or 2,000 subscribers. So therefore, as always, thanks a lot for that. Goa is in form. Yeah, Shumit, interesting game, I would say. Punjab FC looked better at the start, got a goal. Solic, very good goal, very well built up by Punjab 2-3 times. And of course, that goal was really, really good. And then sort of Goa had to dig a little deep, get into the grind, got a goal. Again, it is, that they were able to turn it around in the second half, especially that opportunistic goal from Iker Guruchena, and then his shot against the post, and Manolo, Manolo winning another game, which, will ease the nerves at FC Goa. We were 3 matches ago, we're talking about, that, is Manolo in danger of potentially getting fired by FC Goa, which was potentially a possibility if the last 2 matches maybe would have been lost. And now, 6 points in the last 2 games, moved past Punjab in the league table. I guess Goa is in the regions that they would like to be. And that's the status of where we are today, looking at the league table. Another also take on UEFA Champions League, yesterday's results. Some surprises, some bigger surprises, some smaller surprises. Celtic beating Leipzig. For me, that's a big surprise. And the way it was, Leverkusen conceding 4 at Liverpool, despite that decent first half. Real Madrid losing at home, so those are some of the biggest surprises, and to see some of the teams up there in that top 8 bracket. So yeah, that would be my take on what's happening in the Champions League. Again, one of the best game of the season. No, Gary, I don't think I would rate this game. I mean, the quality of football was good, but would I rate it as one of the best games of the season? I wouldn't say so. That's something which, we've seen better games, and I think we'll see better games, much more exciting games in the days and weeks to come. So therefore, this game wouldn't really be rated amongst the best of this ongoing ISL season, if you ask me about that. What's your top 6? The top 6, I think, mainly will be our usual suspects. I think Mohun Bagan will be there. Bombay City will be in there. BFC most probably is going to be there. FC Goa, is going to be in there. And then we've got quite a number of teams who can potentially get into the mix. but it's Jamshedpur, I don't think will make it into the top six. Punjab FC. Looking at today, looking also that one or two players are missing. Punjab FC doesn't have really the bench strength, could be struggling as well. I think Odisha will sort themselves out. Then there's Chennai and Kerala Blasters. Interested to see what East Bengal do on Saturday in the small derby against Mohammedan Sporting. But again, it's going to be interesting. I think the top six race will be quite open this year once more. Blues says FC Goa 17 shots, 8 on target with only 37% possession. Blues, but that's football, right? Punjab had a lot of the ball, but they couldn't make it count, and that's something which again at some stage you'll have to figure out. But they were efficient as well, and they could have, so that's why, so therefore, that's one of those things. That's the way that FC Goa did, and I think Punjab will not be happy because, they couldn't make that possession count. Also, a lot of half chances, while Goa had some really, really good chances in that game. Is Khalid Jamil the right man to continue for Jamshedpur FC? Methamphetamine, to me, it's a question to be asked. Very difficult. If you look at the way he behaved, wasn't smart. I know sometimes even coaches can lose their heads, but that was a little bit too much against Chennai. So it will be very interesting to see. At the moment, I don't think he's in danger. But after the break, if he loses one or two more games, and the way they lost also, maybe lose like this, then Jamshedpur might be, jump into action. I like how Punjab FC played quick passes and overloading one side of the pitch. Kumar, it looks nice. It looks good. It looks nice with all the touches that they're having. But effectivity is something which is also very, very important in football. And this is something which wasn't there, and that's why they didn't win the game. And that's sometimes football is a very, very simple sport. And Punjab FC couldn't do what was needed to try and get a goal and win the game. Do you need East Bengal, or do you think East Bengal needs reinforcement? I think the question doesn't arise at the moment because the transfer window only opens in January. And to me, then the question arises, what's the status in December? East Bengal, of course, also have one eye of potentially reaching far in the AFC Challenge League now. So I think Clayton Silva is worth a discussion to have. Do you keep him? Do you bring someone else in? Because I think age is catching up with the Brazilian striker. And then the question is, Hector Eustahi Jaji Maher, is that foreign centre-back duo really the best option, or do you replace one of them who's a little bit more active, a little bit more faster, than those two? In terms of new teams, I feel Punjab will adopt the ISL playing style very well. It'd be great to see if they bring some other good players in upcoming window. I love the way Punjab FC pushed the clutch. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. Very happy with what they have done since last year joining the ISL. Took a little while to understand things, but once they did understand things, they've changed things and tried to move forward. Very good recruitment last year. Mahdi Talal, very good example. So and let's see, and this year as well. So let's see how they continue. But top six will be now interesting again. That's why I always said the the season won't be decided after 3, 4, 5 matches. The season will be decided at the end of the season. And therefore, I said, let's wait for 10, 12, 14 matches to see where the team stand, because slowly but clearly the usual suspects are working their way up the table, while some of the surprises who were higher up in the table are sort of dropping down. Just to name 2 examples, I think Jamshedpur FC and Punjab FC. Does Vikram deserve a national team call-up right now? Because I don't think so. Isaac is way more deserving. Ayush, again, it can be discussed. Someone will take Ayush, someone will want someone else. Someone wants Vikram in, someone wants Vikram out, someone wants Liston in, Liston out. It's for the coach to decide. It's again, I think Vikram gives you that edge, I think, which very few of our other attacking players give, because he brings that mentality angle to the game, and therefore, he's one of those. When he's fit, I think he should be called up. Yeah. Sandesh Jingan is back. Yes, Mahesh. Second match, impressed most of the time. Of course, he allowed that first goal to happen, but again, I think that was class, that goal from Punjab. But otherwise, especially that late block against Pakenga was very, very important. So therefore, let's wait and see what Sandesh hopefully can do for the Indian national team in less than 2 weeks' time when they play Malaysia on the 18th of this month. Tactically, do you think Thangbo Singh is up for a long-term project with Hyderabad FC? Methamphetamine, a difficult one. If you ask me, it's a very, very difficult one. I think that foreign coaches bring that extra edge. If you look at, Manolo made a decent-looking Hyderabad team into a championship-winning side. So therefore, I think that's an edge. Thangbo is, I think, a good, also for a foreign coach, a good number 2 who can give him a lot of inputs and advice on the Indian players. So therefore, let's see what happens, and let's see where it goes. Shorodeep asks, off topic, how do you let go of past mistakes, maybe in the context of AIFF? Can we move on and trust them to be competent again with the baggage we have? Yeah, you can, you can move on. The question to me in this case, of course, is, in this case is the challenge, I think, is in this case also, how does the federation react to things, right? And that's something which I feel at the moment quite worried. If I look at the AIFF, where we stand, where we are, the AIFF would have to, if we want to trust them, I think they need to build and regain that trust. And at the moment, I don't see them getting that trust from the fans, or let's say getting trust even from someone like me. They will have to prove me that they earn the trust, because the AIFF has done a lot of things wrong over the last 2 years. So let's see. Good evening, Joshua. Players returning from injury has helped FC Goa so much, changing goalkeeper, Ika, Jingan, Yasir back. Bryson has been playing really, really well. Yeah, agree. Interesting with the young goalkeeper. But especially the return of Jingan at the back has given them stability. And Ika Gundushena is just proving what kind of a quality player he is. Very, very good. And therefore, let's see, Yasir also had his moments, but I think he has to still work a lot. And Bryson also has his moments. So for Goa, I think things are looking much, much brighter at this break than we're looking at the last break in October. Noah Sadhu and Ishan Pandita will be available for Kerala Blasters FC after the international break. Mahesh, Noah Sadhu, I think, is the key man, the big name that I think all the Blasters fans will be looking forward to. And Ishan needs to play, right? Ishan needs to play. And let's see if he's going to get any game time upcoming. So let's see what happens. We got Kerala's Blasters next. Noah playing against us will be a scary thought. Yeah, next meaning FC Goa face the Kerala Blasters. Current ISL season foreigners are not as good as previous season, according to Manolo. Oh, Prashant, all these kind of discussions, A lot of people like to make those comparisons. Again, there are good quality foreigners. There's certain ones who've been around for a certain period of time, and let's wait and see. Is something. But to me, again, I think the quality of foreigners that we have had in the past, and if we look at season 11 of the ISL, the quality of foreigners has improved quite a bit over the last decade or 15 years, even, let's say, when even more than 15 years, let's say 2007, the I-League started. If we look at the foreigners at that time and look at the foreigners now, the foreigners are much, much better. If East Bengal plays like AFC, they can upset many teams. Shumit, I'm not sure about that. I think people should not get carried away by that 3-2, because if Nejme score of their opportunities, Nejme win that game, right? So Bashundara, I think, is not a benchmark. Bashundara is not the same team that they were in the past. And drawing Paro FC, sorry, for an Indian club is an embarrassment. So therefore, again, let's be happy. East Bengal has made the next stage of the competition, but let's not get carried away by the performance, because the performance wasn't as such that you'd say that, in any of those 3 games for 90 minutes, except even in the second half, Bashundara, if they scored the one of their goal, I'd like to see what happens. And therefore, that's something that East Bengal needs to work on. I think Oscar knows very, very clearly that his team is still very, very fragile. Once they concede a goal, it showed against Nejme that East Bengal didn't have that stability that you need to really push that to. East Bengal were looking really great for 15, 16, 17 minutes. They concede that goal in that 18-minute from Opare, and suddenly the whole game changes. When India get a proper number 9, Prashant, good question. I don't know. I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you, because I don't see a natural number 9 currently amongst the players that are playing in the Indian system. Goa back in form, and they have 2 very easy matches against Kerala Blasters and Hyderabad FC. Arnav, yes, they are back in form, but are those matches easy? I don't think so. If you ask me, those are not easy matches. Matches against the Blasters and Hyderabad are slowly also settling down. Let's see what happens. Fixing in Delhi League, fixing in Mizoram, sir. What are your thoughts on the same in terms of long-term football at junior level? Given rare, it's a problem across the leagues, across India. I think the Mizoram Football Association needs to be complimented for coming out and taking that drastic step. I think there's, I spoke to certain people in Mizoram, and they were not sure if that's the right thing to do, but they had to step out and do whatever is needed, and they have done that. And I think one has to compliment the Mizoram Football Association for doing that. The Goa Football Association has followed up by banning 2 of those players who've also been playing in Goa. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens if other state associations. There are allegations, as you say, in Delhi. Have been allegations in Kolkata, in Bangalore, in Goa, in Kerala, in Mumbai. Across all the leagues, there have been allegations. None of the state associations have acted on these. So I hope that they now follow the path of the Mizoram Football Association and start acting on it. Not only this, but also, Mizoram acted in the summer against age fraud. I hope that they act on those things as well. Let's see. General SSR, India bid for Olympic 2036. If we host, will we get direct spot in football as well? General, 2 things. India has not bid so far. They've sent a letter of intent to the IOC. That's different. Bidding comes later down in the process. And if India do host the Olympics in 2036 or at another date, yes, India would get a direct spot in both the men's and women's football competitions. Anwar decision will come 10th November, or chances are there for further delay? Shumit, I have no clue. I've given up on this case, and I'm not going to speculate on it. Let's wait and see what the PSC decide and what happens. Does AIFF Technical Committee need an overhaul considering the subpar coaching recruitments with various national sides? Who's going to do that? And did the Technical Committee decide the coaching positions? Those are the questions that need to be asked. Noah going to be an ISL legend after a few years, I feel. Girundre, let's see. He was good in Goa. Now he's in the Blasters. We'll have to wait and see if he can really become an ISL legend, as you're saying. The potential surely is there, but is he going to make it or not? That's a question that can be asked or should be asked of him. The potential, as I say, is there, but again, he has to consistently play and perform at a top level, and that's, I think, the challenge that I think Noah Sadoui will have at this moment and down the road. When will Akash Mishra return? Thoughts on Nathan Rodriguez, left back of Mumbai City FC. Akash is still quite a bit out from a return. I think early next year most probably is the time that Akash can and will return. And Nathan has been doing a good job. Scored his first goal the other night against the Blasters. Of course, certain things need to still come. So therefore, let's hope that he, becomes more stable and can cover for Akash, and then let's hope Akash comes back at some stage and becomes a key part for Mumbai City's push for titles towards the end of the season. Hi Dark Knight, welcome back. Last year top scorer Dimi was 13 goals. This season there are already players with 8 goals and we're at only quarter of the season. Bablu's animation, Ajurai already has 9 from 7. So therefore 13 goals I think will be beaten. The question is by how many? Will we go to 17, 18, 20? Let's wait and see what happens with the strikers. Nihal Sudesh is a good speedy player, but all the games he lacks something called decision making. Today also he got a lot of chances. Mahesh, I've been talking about the wingers, right? I've talking with you guys about our wingers, and this is across the board. Most of the players have that problem, that decision of should I shoot, should I pass, what should I do? But again, for example, the pass to the goal was perfect today, right? But yeah, 5, 6 other occasions you think, what are you doing? So therefore, it will be be it Nihal, be it the others. I hope that they do a better job and more consistent, because then if you're consistent, if you're performing on a regular basis, for example, the case of Lalinjwala Changte, you then also get to be in the national team. AIFF Technical Committee is like a fake star, says Geron Rare. Goa is literally climbing mountain. Hi Akash. Yeah, looks like it. So far, so good. Again, we were discussing 2 match rounds ago after the loss against Mumbai City. Is there a future for Manolo with Goa, or does Goa have to think about a different coach? That's the situation as it is at this moment. So let's see. At the moment, things are looking good for Goa and for Manolo. And 2 wins in a row, 12 points. Okay. So do you know any in football who played other game as well as at professional level? The one that comes to mind to me would be Chuni Goswami, a former India captain who also played, I think, up to Ranji Trophy level for Bengal in cricket. Any up to the Malaysian squad for the friendly? I had seen a Malaysian squad yesterday and it looked like a little bit of a experimental squad. Don't know if that's been confirmed now. Let me just check once. Let me just check once in a second. Yeah, it's been confirmed. Supposedly it's been confirmed for the friendlies against Laos and against India. They have a squad and they're leaving out some of the regulars, trying out some of the fringe players, some of those usual suspects, especially Johor. A lot of the senior Johor players have been left out, I guess, also because they've been playing a lot of international football. So that looks like that Malaysia is not coming with their best side. Is ISL on the same level as League 2 or higher? Which League 2 are you talking about, Ayush? Can you name the FIFA standard stadiums in India? Oh, Mahesh, there are tons of them who are sort of FIFA standard stadium. FIFA standard stadium, what is it? Salt Lake would be one, Guwahati, Indira Gandhi Stadium, the new stadium in Delhi, Mumbai Football Arena, Balewadi in Pune, Kochi, the Nehru Stadium, the Kochi Stadium, the Nehru Stadium in Goa, and the Nehru Stadium in Chennai, Srikantirava, just to name those that come to my mind immediately. And of course, Trans Stadia and Ahmedabad as well. Malaysia's squad consists of more and more young players who have a good chance here. Let's see, get on there. I think those players will want to prove something as well. What kind of player should Northeast United sign in the next window? Oh, Minmoy, 2 months away. I think the question is what kind of injuries could happen in the next few weeks. At the moment, they look fine to me, but I'm as I said, I think a lot of teams will towards the end of December or mid-Jan. I think that's the time when they need to start thinking about bringing in players, and that's the question that then the team management needs to consider. Says, is it now the right time to bring in players? Do we have the kind of players that we want, that we need? That's going to be the question. I think that I think and feel that needs to be looked at is what's happening, what's the right step, what's the right thing to do at the time. What do you think of the consecutive wins for FC Goa? Will give confidence alone will help him, but for ST, I think you mean national team. I think for him it is it's important, for cooling down things in Goa, that suddenly Goa doesn't become a problem. And now I can focus on the national team. Was it correct for FC to disqualify Mohan Fagan given the fact that they accept the situation as force majeure? Yeah, methamphetamine, they didn't turn up, so it was right, I feel. India should not even think about hosting useless event like Olympic either. PM Modi does not know about what happened to Greece Saga, or he knows the consequences. I don't think he knows what happened. ISL might be at the same level in terms of quality as League 2. Okay, I think League 2 teams would be stronger than ISL sides. Half of Nation Stadium named Jawaharlal Nehru, sometimes funny or fussy too. Why is women's football doing so poorly over recent years? Methamphetamine, the system is not doing the right things to push, to promote women's football. Women's football is not growing the way it, in my opinion at least, needs to grow, and those are then reasons why we're falling behind, and we are rapidly falling behind. That's my concern. And that's something which we need to change. Akash says, I've noticed that broadcasting quality of this season's ISL is better than Saudi League. Akash, I don't watch, or I can't watch Saudi League, so I don't know if anyone is watching it. I can't make that comparison. Hi, Beneath. What do you think about Boris? Is he good now, or just needs to work more on his game sense to get a call up next time? This whole thing with game sense has been a problem for Boris since his days in the youth national teams. He has to do more to impress, and I think Boris needs to work hard, and very interesting to see how he can improve, or needs to improve for himself, but also for his coach to consider him for the national team. It's interesting that Ashish Rai still gets a slot and others don't. Do you think Vibin can surpass Apuya? In theory, it is possible. The question is, to what level does Apuya go? I think Apuya is also still not a finished product. So the first question would need be what level does Apuya get to, and then can Vibben surpass that level? So that's going to be the question. If Apuya gets stuck at the level he is at the moment, theoretically, yes, Vibben can cross that. But if Apuya goes to a higher level, then the question is, can Vibben surpass Apuya? I'm not sure about that at the moment. Sir, after Mika, do you think we have seen any player of his caliber in ISL? I've seen no one in ISL after matches, skills, and these things. Well, there are quite a few, no? If I would say Ferran Corominas at FC Goa would have been a player, again, who most probably age is catching up with him, would be Ahmed Jahu. If you look at creativity, Greg Stewart has been a great player. Yoel Fanif, who I said last year is potentially for me one of the best players in the league down the road, and therefore, so let's see. Your thoughts on today's FC Goa's gameplay? Raj, I think they were very pragmatic. I think Manolo was very pragmatic, left the ball to Punjab FC, which hurt them at the start because Punjab FC were really sharp and spot on in the first 15-20 minutes, took the lead. Then Goa slowly got into the game, got into the groove, and the complexion of the game sort of changed, in my opinion. And then what happened was that Goa was, putting sort of needles into Punjab FC with counters, and that worked with them, with Razic on that wing, with Gorochena behind, with Sadiku in there, with Yasir in the first half, and then later on Bryson looked good, looked very, very good today. But again, against better opponents who could, let's say, opponent like Mumbai City, it didn't work because Mumbai City made that possession count and work for them. If AIFF would have done at least something for women football, it could have qualified for World Cup before men's. Yeah, Raj, agree. In answer, currently 2 Jawaharlal Nehrus and 1 is pending, Shillong. Jawaharlal Nehru, yeah. No, there are 3. Sorry, there's not 3. There's Delhi, there's Goa, Kochi, and Chennai. There are 4 Jawaharlal Nehru stadiums, and the 5th will be added with Shillong. Not 2, 4. I think, Double Pass Development League, which conducts league in Bangalore. For youth categories, they are trying to do Double Pass Development League in Mumbai. They mentioned that every team should avoid to participate in DFL where they are conducting grass and some youth category league. Mumbai Association is not doing the Grassroots and Youth League. Okay, Kumar. I have to just read it again. I think I know about that. They are trying to do Double Pass Development League in Mumbai. They mentioned that every team should avoid to participate where they're conducting grass and some youth categories league. Mumbai is not doing the Grassroots and Youth League. Okay, what's the point, Kumar? Could you just repeat it? I'm not getting the point that you're getting. Sorry. Are the female players playing in Europe actually there on merit, or is it some publicity to increase exposure? Difficult to believe Indian players can play as foreigners in Europe. They're there on merit. Whereas, what would be the publicity for a Croatian club, for a Greek or a Cypriot club to play an Indian female player? They're on merit. And publicity stints with Indian players, again, have not worked. It does not work with Baichung. It's not worked with Sunil. It has not worked with Gurpreet Singh Sandhu or anybody else. So, again, I always say, and this is something I also said in 2019 when Changte went for his trial and training stint with Viking Stavanger, this all has to be on the pretext of saying that this is about football. This is not about PR. The PR comes second. If a player is good enough, so therefore, let's see. Why does I-League's top scorer Lal Biakmia doesn't get a national caller? Probably is the best striker in the country. Because he's not the best striker in the country, Ayush. I think you need to understand one thing, that the jump from an I-League team you know, that I saw David the other day for East Bengal against Mohun Bagan, and sorry, those kind of players, national team, we shouldn't be even mentioning their names. And so I've been proven more often right than wrong. I said about Jay Gupta, I don't think he's ready for national team. Mr. is not ready for national team. And therefore, you might think, but I-League striker, national team, the jump is way too big. Okay. Manolo, tactics we watch on ISL are very nice, but why didn't we see such tactics in the national team in the last 3 games? Raj gives you one of the answers because in national team they don't have foreigners. Was the tactics nice today? Okay, I thought if I talk from a tactical standpoint, I'd say Punjab FC were better today, right? So again, today's tactics was wait and watch and hit them on the counter. That's the tactic, right? And hope that your defenders block and your goalkeeper is there to save you. That's your tactic. I don't know. I had no idea that Fatorda is Jawaharlal Nehru as well as Marina. Jawaharlal Nehru did something amazing for Indian football. Yeah, he actually did. No? He supported India quite a bit in the 1950s. And these arenas, the one in Chennai, the one in Goa, the one in Kochi, the one even in Delhi, all of these are none of them, even Shillong, all of them are multi-purpose sporting venues. So they're not pure football venues. After Changte, Apuya could have tried abroad, but again, money matters first. Yeah, Raj, of course. I mean, that's a thing that we have spoken quite a bit in our conversations here on the channel. That's one of the things for the players. Money talks, money matters. I also understand that. I mean, that's just life and the way it is. But for me, that's a challenge, right? For me, it's a challenge. If you want to improve, if you want to get better, are you willing to maybe risk a year or two abroad, maybe with the hope that you could get better in the long run, or do you continue to play here and just earn your money? And 99.9% of the players will always go for the money. Yeah. Tactics. Yeah. I-League maybe not as good as ISL, but Sunil, Bhutia, Jingan, and many more are the products of I-League. So where ISL is lacking, according to you. Raj, you are talking about times when the ISL didn't exist, right? If you say Baichung wasn't even a product of the I-League. Baichung was a product of East Bengal by chance picking up from a Subrata Cup, playing well early NFL days with JCT and then with East Bengal and then getting to Bury, and the rest, as they say, is history. Sunil went to Mohun Bagan, didn't work out, went to JCT, worked out, the rest, as they say, is history. Sandesh is a product of the Baichung Bhutia football schools, got a chance at United Sikkim, the club that Baichung built, and then became a regular in I-League and ISL. So they're not products of the I-League. To say that, I think, would be wrong. And what has been lacking since the NFL days, or even before that, is the focus on grassroots and youth development, which has actually come in to some extent forcefully due to the club licensing that the AIFF sort of started in 2012, and even more now in the ISL. And then you see which clubs are doing it and which are not. Some of them are utilizing, and that's the question of how do you utilize them, and how do you get these clubs to do what they need to do. And that's the challenge. I wonder what's wrong with Indian players going abroad. Remember, Romeo Fernandez in Brazil in 2014 was so excited. Even it was a 6-month loan, really came back right after making debut as a sub. Rushabh, again, Romeo had an exceptional first season. Beto, who was acting, not acting. Beto was an agent at the time, and of course, Roberto Mendes Silva used to play in India. With Aledleo Paranense, created that opportunity for this young player. It didn't work out. In the end, he came back, and Romeo, I think, is playing lower level Goa football now. At least he tried, right? And didn't work out, came back and played a few years ISL and then retired. So that's the thing. Right, more than 40 minutes of the Indian football discussion on this Wednesday evening, 6th of November. If you haven't and you like what we're discussing today, leave a like, leave a share. Behind so far, only 9 likes. I think we can do better, guys. And one more subscriber. So we're at 1,902. Again, to help me get to higher figures, and therefore thanks a lot as always, guys. Since I came to India, I go to stadium for running and to play football with some kids. Local college women team also come for practice. Believe me, they are pathetic and they're playing at state level. Akash, but that's the problem, right? Are we talking about standards? Who's coaching them? How good is the coach? How bad is the coach? No, it's that. Is Changte Napura even A-League level? Difficult. With the right team, maybe there is a possibility, but Blues, Australian A-League, in the way it's set up, I don't think so. Hi, Abhishek. So why those clubs which produce legends of Indian football are not able to do that in current time? The clubs didn't produce those talent. They did not produce talent. It just happened. And most players came through the, for example, through the Tata Football Academy, right? If you look at even the AIFF president, Kalyan Chaube, Tata Football Academy product, Renedy Singh, Mahesh Goli, Gauramangi Singh, Deepak Mondal, Udanta, all of these guys were actually products of the Tata Football Academy, and literally Tata Football Academy used to produce players every 2 years, and the big clubs used to jump on them. The clubs never focused. A lot of the players come from smaller teams. Is there a chance that players in Europe go on strike with all the extra matches at an injury crisis happening? Babulo's animation, the question is, can they do it? Will they do it? What will they do it for? Are the players, for example, willing to say, listen, okay, we play less matches, but I'll also take, let's say, 20% of a pay cut? The clubs, the football ecosystem needs to refinance, and the salaries are going up. And if you need to refinance the game, who's going to refinance it? That's the question, So that's the, the question that there is at the end of the day. Sorry, just a quick sip of water. So the question is, and I think we were discussing it yesterday, in my opinion, the challenge is also that that football has become much more fast-paced, much more physical, and that is taking a toll on the players. And be it in Europe at the top level, be it be it in India as well, and therefore muscle injuries are a problem. Your I-League aversion is inexplicable. Sanjay, why do you have an I-League aversion? I don't. Again, you are judging me without knowing. If I tell you the facts and you don't like it, then it's saying, oh, you know what, I'm defending the ISL. Oh, no. I did commentary 2 years ago in the bubble in the I-League. I don't have a problem with the I-League. But the I-League, again, those people who glorify the I-League, then ask them the question of what has the I-League delivered, what has the NFL delivered, what has national level club football delivered since 1996. We're nearly 30 years in. What has it delivered for Indian football? What have the big clubs delivered for 100 years of existence? What have the clubs who've been around for 40, 50, 60 years delivered? This is the question we should be asking. We glorify things where there is no glorification. We should be brutally honest. So that's the reality. And if you don't like that, I don't know what to say. Is Tata Football Academy still producing good footballers now? Blues, they're part of the Jamshedpur FC setup, and the one or the other player, yes, is coming through. I guess the one where we will most probably see more talents coming through is the Reliance Foundation Young Champs program. Nathan Rodriguez at Mumbai City is a product. Mohamed Sanan is a product. Mohamed Nemil at Goa. Those are some of the best players that they have come through the system. So let's wait and see. Tata Football Academy still exists. Vishal Yadav, the goalkeeper, is one of the products. But Jamshedpur has shifted their focus, or let's say the Tatars have shifted their focus rather from the development of the cadets of the TFA rather into the first team of the ISL. Thanks, Akash. Really appreciate it. From a financial point of view, it's the right decision to play in ISL, but an average player has its peak at 30s. Later, they start to decline. Why not go abroad for some years, significantly improve, and then come back? Rushabh, the players want to earn now. They don't want to earn in 5 or 10 years. I think, again, which is understandable. You could get injured tomorrow and then your career is over. So therefore, for me, that is something which exists, and that's a reality of things, which we cannot, push aside. And therefore, you've seen, for example, players going at an older age. Sunil tried at an older age twice. It didn't work out for him. Sandesh tried and went to Croatia and didn't work. And that's the reality. I would have loved to see Changte when we did the trial at Viking Stavanger in Norway 5 years ago, and Viking was willing to offer him a 3-year contract. He didn't risk it. He went back. It has worked out for him, but who knows where. I think Lalinswala Changte, from a talent perspective, is the biggest talent that we've had in the last decade. And I think, that's the reality. From last season, the viewership of ISL has increased. Will it be able to continue? Raj, I am very skeptical of all these stats that come out. This has increased, that has increased. If I see the level of interactions I am having with people offline, online, it seems the same. Sometimes it seems less, sometimes it seems more. So if it has really increased substantially, let's wait and see. I mean, so that's the reality. I don't know why you're ignorant of Indian football history. When there was no ISL and no foreigners, India was best in Asia. Sanjay, I am not ignorant of history. And you know what the problem is? When you try and defend the history, remember what that so-called history was. When we were the best in Asia, and this is the same story in hockey as well. When India won and Pakistan were winning all these medals, how many countries were playing, right? When India was the best in Asia, Japan, Korea didn't bother. The Middle East didn't bother. The minute they started playing, we focused in the 50s and 60s on playing Olympics and Asian Games. The world moved to the FIFA World Cup in 1950. That was the start and the growth, our biggest ever mistake in Indian football. And the second part is, when in the 60s, the Asian Football Confederation started the AFC Asian Cup, we said, you know what, we don't bother, we go for the Asian Games. That is our problem. If you don't understand that, where history can teach us lessons of avoiding mistakes, and we still make mistakes. Last year, people were fighting on social media for us to go to the Asian Games. What did it bring us? It brought us a chaotic season. Did it bring us anything? No, we should have sent our under-20s, given those boys exposure. This is what, I do know a little bit about things. So therefore, when there were no foreigners, listen, our opportunities, the football world was very small. In today's world, every country in the world plays football. Not only every territory. There are more countries playing football today than there are countries and territories in the United Nations. And if you are ignorant of these facts, then that's a problem. And another thing, I don't say and I don't think Indian football started with the ISL, but the problem is that we have been lying to ourselves over the last 100 plus years of how good and how great our football is. Because if our football was so great and so brilliant as it is, we would be a Brazil and we'd be beating the rest of the world. And that is a reality that most people don't want to accept. Because especially in certain parts of the country, they're very happy with their small little football world. They don't understand how the bigger world of football works. That is the reality. That's the problem of where Indian football is stuck. In my opinion, I-League looks so slow, no disrespect, but it's what it is. Again, also, does it look slow? Maybe on television. The judgment of a football game can only be made when you watch it live. And it doesn't matter if it is the ISL, if it is the I-League, if it is the Premier League, the Bundesliga, La Liga, Champions League, or even a World Cup. I saw 3 matches of the Euros in the summer, and 4 of the best teams I saw on the pitch, and it was bad. 2 weaker teams I saw, and it was actually better when you watch it live. The Kolkata Derby was a bad game the other day when I watched it in Kolkata. I've watched much better football games than that, even at lower amateur level, right? So the question is not that. The question is, are we willing to accept that our system has problems, issues, deficiencies, and are we willing to change that? And the reality is, we love to lie into our own pockets and say, you know what, we were great in football, but okay, we've become bad over the last, I don't know how many decades. That's not, for me, that's not good enough. If I want to see India play in a FIFA World Cup one day before I die, we have to do a lot more work to get to that stage, because we are further away than ever before, right? That's the problem. Who has the managing corporate rights of I-League? As far as I remember, FSL has all the rights of leagues and national teams too. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have the rights. They don't manage it. So the contract, this Masters Rights Agreement, which was signed in 2010 between the AIFF and Reliance IMG at the time, and then Reliance bought IMG's shares out of that joint venture and made it Football Sports Development Limited. All the rights commercially and theoretically also all the media rights. But because they were not able to work out something with the I-League clubs and the I-League entities in 2011, 2012, Reliance then started the ISL project. Now, the I-League's problem is that if you're unable to sell the ISL as a product, the I-League is now your second tier. It gets even tougher to sell that product. And that is something the AIFF is trying to do it themselves. Let's see how they do. I mean, we've seen, look at how the ISL is organized, look at how the I-League, IWL is being organized, and these are realities. Beautifully explains, everyone, we need a channel where we can ask our thoughts. Thanks, Minmoy. Trying to do that on a regular basis. Narendra Naik, also Reliant product. Yeah, we need there quite a few coming through. Let's see if these players who are coming through are going to be able to go to the next level. That's my concern, right? Is there a player who can be better than the current lot? But what about the current situation? Nobody's denying history. Very well said, Raj. Is there any player trying to move abroad in ISL? Rushabh, none that I know of at the moment. How does A-League without any relegation or promotion have such a good quality? Relegation and promotion isn't a matter of quality. Major League Soccer doesn't have promotion relegation, right? This is another myth that certain people are always trying to push, right? I think a closed league with a certain level of standard might be better because it ensures that the investors are going to be willing to pump in money. That's why people pump in money, more money actually in nowadays in Major League Soccer than they're pumping in Europe. Many of the footballers come from poor family with minimal education and English language skills. They somehow got into a domestic club, 3rd or 4th division. EuroLeague barely pays very low. That's also reality, Akash. These are the reasons young Indians are afraid to go to Europe in early days. Yeah. Sorry. Fans are angry with the AIFF of picking Hyderabad for the India versus Malaysia match, claiming it's due to government donations. What's your take on it? Arnav, the AIFF has no option. The AIFF financially is not in a position to say, you know what, I will do the match here or I will do the match there. They have to pick a venue according to the support that venue is willing to offer the AIFF. Sounds bad, is bad, but that's the reality of things, right? And that's something which if I, yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality of why Hyderabad was chosen in the past. Ahmedabad was chosen. Guwahati was chosen with the help of the AIFF. Look at where the Santosh Trophy has been played in the last year. The AIFF has financial issues. And then it is not like, the best venue gets picked, if people think so, but rather the venue where it is the cheapest for me. Agree or now, sir, we are so behind that even Afghanistan and better than us, I accept it. Yeah, we need, again, This is the truth which I don't like. Does Northeast, Jamshedpur and Odisha doesn't deserve to hold matches as the house-packed and passionate crowd? Why? Why shouldn't they? Right? And I don't know how Jamshedpur gets into that discussion. Jamshedpur fills its stadium quite well, but to me, a stadium has to play wherever the teams are based. Yeah. AIFF will only select the venue if it's sponsored by the local government. That's the reality of the moment, if we like it or not. Does India have a decent amount of infrastructure compared to many countries who are doing better than India, like Uzbekistan, Oman? I think we shouldn't compare ourselves to, let's say, countries in the Middle East or even in Central Asia. I think Uzbekistan has quite a decent infrastructure, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't have the full scene, but from what I've heard and seen, Uzbekistan has a decent level of infrastructure. And Oman again is in the Middle East. I would rather compare it with countries in Africa or even, let's say, Brazil or Argentina. I think India has better infrastructure than you have mostly in Argentina and in the top division in Argentina or in Uruguay. So, and we're talking about countries which have won the World Cup. So therefore, my problem isn't infrastructure. Huh? The thing for me, which is more important than infrastructure, is a question of what is the quality of coaching and what is the quality of competitions. If we don't improve those things, you could, again, aspire. For example, in Qatar, has the best, most probably the best sporting infrastructure in one place anywhere in the world. Maybe some US college might have it somewhere, which I haven't seen. But what I've seen myself, Aspire is better than anything I've seen here in Europe as a complete infrastructure in regard to sports. Is Qatar becoming the best country in football? And they're also spending money on the coaches, right? Not to forget that. But they're not, they haven't become world beaters in 10, 15 years. So therefore, there's a lot of reasons for that. In 1956, we beat Australia in Australia twice, 4-2 and 7-0. Was that fluke? Sanjay, it's not fluke. But did Australia take football seriously in 1956? Ask yourself the question that. Who was Australia in football? Was Australia a World Cup playing nation at the time? No. India was good in a lot of sports at the time because the British brought the sports to our country. Yeah. What's wrong with Guwahati Northeast United FC? Even after winning Durand Cup and top quality football in ISL, the stadium is empty. I think they will permanently move to Shillong. Akash, I don't think they can move permanently to Shillong because, again, also there, Northeast United gets a lot of infrastructure support and other things in Guwahati. I don't know if they could get that from, despite all, that's something in there. But I think that there's a certain disconnect between the Highlander fans and the club. And I think to win that back, just to win a few matches here and there is not going to work for them. I think they would have to play a whole season like this. And maybe you'll see towards the end of this ISL campaign, maybe even next season, fans coming back maybe in bigger numbers. That's, again, connect between a club and their fans is sometimes which can be difficult. And if you lose that is something which is even more difficult. So therefore, I think for Northeast United, that's the biggest challenge that I see for them, to rebuild that connect which they had with their fans in the past. MLS has a lot of diversity as players from any small countries lower than 150 FIFA ranking play there with Champions League winners and World Cuppers. Yeah, that's a fact. India is bad at sport, including cricket. Most countries playing cricket are poor or it's a fringe sport. If cricket was important in an European country and had a league 20 plus teams and pyramid structure, cricket is a small fringe sport per se on a global scale. It is the biggest sport in India or in South Asia, but it is a fringe sport, right? So if you like it or not, that's the reality. So how the players' transfer salary is decided? Raj, transfer and salary are two things. Salary you discuss with the player. You need to know how much he's earning at his old club. Then you potentially make him an offer. If he likes it, it's good. Then you talk to the club who wants to sell the player. Either it's a free transfer because his contract is ended, or you then offer him something and then you try and sign him. And then you pay a transfer fee, which is agreed between the two sides. Let's wait and see. But from that perspective, you discuss, you negotiate, and then you finalize. I believe our young boys should target MLS and USL, good paycheck, good football, top quality infrastructure in English-speaking country. Many of our players can get into these leagues. I don't see our players wanting to go to the US, Akash. I think, also with the experience that Sunil had, of course, that was, nearly 15 years back, but I don't see our players targeting those kind of markets, and they would not be paying, they would be paying minimum salaries to our players as per their budget salary caps and all that stuff. For Qatar, they have everything except population that's holding them back. Blues, I don't think it's a population thing. I think to me, it's always a question of how can you get even if you've got small resources to make it work, right? And therefore, for me, that is something which makes it difficult in a context of let's say Qatar, with all infrastructure investment into coaching and other things that they are, not just in football but generally across sports, really scraping the top level. Do you have any idea when will we get the clear picture about AIFF FSTL matter? No, Akash. I think there's nobody, even within the AIFF or within FSTL at the moment, who knows how this thing is going. There is that danger that the contract might not be extended. And then I've said what I've said, that my opinion, that it's a danger then for the ISL if the ISL will continue. Let's wait and see. So how can we produce finished product like Sunil and Bhutia, and if we don't have quality competition coaches, and how they are able to do it even in worse condition? Baichung and Sunil were not the finished product. Let's start with that, Raj. The point here is Baichung burst onto the scene. He played Subota Cup, went to East Bengal, did so well. There was an individual who gave him the opportunity to go to England to play with Bury. 3 years at Bury. Of course, he spent a lot of time on the sidelines due to some serious injuries. But Baichung grew as a human being. Baichung grew as a man. Baichung became to what he was towards his latter part of the career. Sunil also, to some extent, a little different, of course. After failing at Mohun Bagan, he couldn't make it there. He went to JCT. Sukhwinder Singh gave him opportunities. One of his best friends is Renedy. Chidi Ade was there. Incredible partnership, those three. And the rest, as they say, is history. Went to the US, tried his luck, went to Sporting. I think he realized that Sporting Lisbon B, Eric Dyer, one of his teammates, that is not good enough, right? He came back half a year later, came to Churchill, won the I-League. And as they say, the rest is history. So for them, these struggles that these two boys faced, those boys would be wrong, but these two men faced, has made them much better footballers in the long run. And that's something that I think that especially younger players don't want to go into that, struggle. They're fine earning, 40, 50 lakhs, sitting on a bench in the ISL, enjoying 5-star accommodation, great flights, great service, everything taken care of, rather than earning nothing, very, very difficult. Let's see, but these two have done it. Gurpreet Singh Sandhu did the same, went to a cold Norway. He left East Bengal, and at the time, he cost them the I-League as well. And 3 years at Stabæk, and everything changed. So therefore, this is something. Som Kumar, at the moment, a very good example. In my opinion, came back too early. If he had stayed another 2 years, I think he would have developed. He would have been a finished goalkeeper, still would have been able to earn the money that he's earning, maybe even had a chance to play in Europe. So that is how I feel the players have to be smart in their decision making. Not only the players, but I think the people who are advising them. And therefore, that's a challenge which I see at the moment. which is not working in when the players do make their decisions. Right, already over an hour and 5 minutes. If you're new, welcome to my channel arunfoot, where I try to have my daily Indian football discussions with the fans, with people who are interested in Indian football, who have queries, observations to talk about. If you're liking what you're seeing, leave a like behind, share it. 19 likes so far today. Thanks a lot. And we're still at 1,902 subscribers. So thanks a lot for that as well, guys. And as I always nowadays like to say, let's try and grow the community and let's get more people into our discussions in regard to Indian football. Vineet asks your top 4 prediction of ISL this season, who really deserves it? Vineet, it's not a question who deserves it. It's a question of who is there at the end of the season to take one of those spots, right? If you ask me, for example, last season, did Chennai deserve it to be that 16 in the top 6? Most probably not. There were other teams who might have deserved it more, right? So for me, if you ask me, I think Mohun Bagan and Mumbai City will be amongst those in the top 4. BFC looks very, very strong at the moment as well. And then it's a question, is it Odisha? Is it FC Goa? Will one of the surprise teams, will it be Punjab FC? Can they surprise it? Chennai look good. So therefore, there's a lot of options at the moment. But I think, if you ask me, I think Mohun Bagan, BFC and Mumbai City will be amongst the top 4 as well. And then the 4th team or top 6, there are other teams to fight for it. Raj asked Sunil as legend, but did he have that quality playing in Europe? No, he didn't, Raj. No? He failed at Sporting B. Let's be honest about it. But it has not harmed his career. I think Sunil had to realize a few things, and he became a better player. And look, after he came back, he's played now. He's in his 12th season after coming back from Sporting Lisbon. At least he was able to score goals. Raji was, but he wasn't good enough over there. Akash says, how can Strachi be a sponsor of CSL, co-owner of Moblin Sporting, and now Abbas Union, and now they are trying to get into ISL, I-League's conflict of interest is absent in the AIFF constitution. I honestly don't know what is happening, but again, there are a lot of these things which we've seen over the years where, clubs linked to one person have played in let's say in the futsal championships or in the second division league. There is a problem with that. Goalkeepers at least can go to Europe. Blues, I think any player can go if he has the quality, but they need to be better. And that is something, are you going at a young age or are you going with 27, 28? That's the question. Should Ishan Pandita try some I-League teams next season for getting more game time, like what Edmund moved from BFC to Interkashi? I think, yes, it would make sense if Ishan doesn't get much game time this season. I think that's something that Ishan needs to consider and look at. Akash says, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks a lot, Akash, for saying that. As I said, let's keep on growing the community. Let's get more people come and join us. Let's talk about the things which are happening or not happening in Indian football, and we need to grow as well. Also, if you haven't watched the videos, I produce videos on a daily basis on topics of general interest. Today, had done earlier today something on India probables for the Malaysia friendly, Manolo's. Yesterday, something on regard to Mizoram Football Association acting tough on the manipulation in the Mizoram Premier League season 11. And that's a good example, right? Very few people, watched it. And then the day before, I just did a speculative thing on the AIFF and FSTL to extend their contract, and that got more views. So therefore, guys, do watch my request is do watch the things with which I think we need to grow and talk, let's see. So let's wait and see. But again, thanks a lot, guys, for supporting, as always. Iran versus India 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. We lost against Iran 0-2, and Gopik did very well. Just came back from Norway club. Dark Knight, wasn't it 0-3? But okay, I might be wrong. It might be 0-2 or might be 0-3. But yeah, he played very, very well. He had come back from Stabæk and then, of course, thereafter joined PFC. Hello, Mayank. I am doing fine. Hope you're doing well as well. Al Hilal is going to terminate Neymar's contract this January. Okay, Blues. SLK CEO Matthew Joseph said on Manorama that they are getting 600 to 700,000 views or viewership and 13,000 average attendance at stadium. What do you think about this data? I don't believe this at all. See, the stadium average can work because you have Manjeri and you have Kozhikode where the stadiums have been full, and I think which sort of covers up for your lack of attendance, I guess, in Trivandrum. I don't know how it went in Kochi. The 6 to 7 lakh views, which is 600 to 700,000 views per game. Oh, that's a little high, I feel. I don't know where. And if the only thing which could work in that, in my opinion, would be if you're accumulating the numbers. That might be the only way you would come to such a figure. Otherwise, it just, for me at least, I don't know what you think, but for me, these numbers just don't add up. Do you have any idea of the status of Ashik Kurunian? Yeah, Mahesh, he's been in the Mohun Bagan squad, but he's been getting limited playing time. So that's the same status of Ashik. Still not fully back, so to say. Again, would need to ask someone in Kolkata who's seen him in training if he's really fully fit or if there's still something missing with him at the moment. Nightmare for Al Hilal, Neymar back-to-back injury. Beneath, that's part of football. Neymar is one of those players who has faced injury problems, be it at Barca, be it at PSG. So therefore, it has been a problem in his career, and again, it's sadly a reality. It's a difficult one, I feel, for him personally, but also for Al Hilal. Indian football fan are like bear, they sleep during harsh winter. Yeah, Dark Knight. It's to be an Indian football fan, you have to have thick skin, right? You have to have thick skin. You have to be ready to accept that we face losses, harsh losses. People will joke about things or laugh in your face. You know, I've faced it over the years from around the world, but but being an Indian football fan, as I said, did a video few days back on that topic when I said 8 days back, Indian football fans, don't stop supporting Indian football. That's the most important thing. I think if you are loyal, let's see. FC Goa back on winning ways. Yes, SCT, 2 back-to-back wins. Good for Manolo, good for the team. Releases a little pressure. Let's see. Sir, would like to hear about your story and how you contributed for football. Joined you back 7 months ago. Raj, to me, the story is relatively simple. Born and brought up here in Germany. Spent 5 years of my schooling in Kolkata. That's where I started watching Indian football and fell in love with Indian football. My real contact with Indian football was in 1998 when I started India's first ever football website called indianfootball.com. That's how I got into it. Was studying journalism as well at the time. Started around 2000 to do management projects on football, consulting work as well, and moved more towards that over the years. Indianfootball.com was sort of shut down in 2010, started arunfoot as a blog. So that was sort of when Arnav About Football became in short arunfoot. That's why this channel is called so. That's why arunfoot.com exists. And I've been doing more management work over the years. Do, of course, once in a while media stuff as well. Do stuff here in Germany as well. So that's my way. And I've been involved in football I've helped the AIFF with things over the years. Worked with FIFA, AFC on things as well, on stuff, not on Indian, but on global football. Did some work for Reliance in 2012-13 in setting up the ISL. 2014, I managed Mumbai City. Was involved at the time of setting, of doing the roadmap, and of the roadmap, was involved with AFC and FIFA at the time. And gave my inputs to that, did some work with Punjab FC or Round Glass Punjab at the time as well. I've done work in Germany here for Bundesliga. Bayern Munich, all their trips to India, was involved, did that. So yeah, a lot of things that I've done over the years, and most probably I've forgotten to tell half of the things. So go to Arunfoot. There's a About Me section which tells you my, on one side, journalistic journey, and if you look at consultancy, you'll see my other work that I've done in football management. SLK is a good start, but the gameplay is really boring, to be honest. Anyway, just a beginning, let it grow. Let's see, Mahesh. I think they need to do something, and let's see what they can do. Yeah. I'm happy for FC Goa is back, but Punjab is very good side too. Yeah, I agree on that. But again, I felt today FC Goa were a little bit more mature, and that maturity showed against Punjab FC. And Punjab FC, yeah, the bench was a little bit of a weak point. Let's watch the SLK final on 10th November. Akash, I don't have any possibility to watch it internationally, and I'm busy on Sundays with local German football. So therefore, sadly, I would have to turn that down. Tractors trashing Rafshan 7-0 right now, and I can't even imagine the scoreline against Mohun Bagan. Rishabh, let's not go back into that discussion of why Mohun Bagan didn't go there. Are you getting bullied by your colleague in Germany for supporting India's decision stuff for decades? No. Again, it's not bullying. It's more of banter, and it's not just my German colleagues, but it's rather colleagues around the world, even across Asia. People, when you talk at the AFC as well, most of the people who work in Indian football or people who are who are fans working, whatever, I don't hear this. I think I get a lot of these kind of things from people who work in football around the world, because because that's part of my role, and people know that I support Indian football wholeheartedly, and I've tried to do my bits. And sometimes people tell, why do you do it? That's also, sometimes people say, spend your time, energy on other things rather than trying to do stuffs to improve Indian football. I'm doing a couple of things at the moment in the background, but again, I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to jinx them. Sir, would like to hear from you. What kind of a role is a football advisor playing in a team? An advisor advises and says, how to structure could be, what things should need to be done in and around the team. Maybe helps in the appointments of staff. So therefore, there are different things that an advisor does, and help a club if you're advising a team. Akash, as an answer to Rushabh, when Bagan played against Rafshan, they were at their lowest point since last season's final, so it's not fair to compare Bagan in that way. Akash, I think it is, because I think if they'd gone to Iran without their foreigners, I don't know what Mohun Bagan would have faced, right? And Tractor is a different level, and it's not just a Mohun Bagan thing. I think there would be a problem for every ISL team. Any unforgettable football moment? If you're asking for a moment or not movement, Murali, good evening to you. Will be that in 2010, when the Bayern Munich legends came to Kolkata to play East Bengal, I was able I was allowed to play 17 minutes for Bayern Munich in Kolkata at the Salt Lake Stadium against East Bengal in a 10-3 win, and I nearly scored a goal. So no one can take this to me. I even joked with some of our Indian players because I was on the pitch with 6 World Cup winners. Yeah, that's, for me, that is, if you ask me, from a footballing standpoint, biggest moment of my life. Again, at the Salt Lake Stadium, wearing a Bayern Munich jersey, playing against East Bengal in front of thousands of fans. Yeah, couldn't get bigger for me. Why do you think sports is not taken seriously in India? People just care about sports when Olympics come and ask why are we not winning medals? Because that's the mentality. I think the Indian, let's say the Indian, doesn't care how you do stuff in those 3 years, 5 years, 3, 4 years between the Olympics. They only say they want success during the Olympics. And that's, to me, that's a big problem at the moment. That's where we fail. That's where we're not getting, after the Olympics, when athletes have been successful, the people are trying to shower money on them. And we're not focusing on how do you get the athletes to that level. That's the challenge, I think, that Indian sports is. My all-time favorite players was Sonny Nordi, dribbling skills. Okay, beneath. Do you think the countries where they're not powers in Asia would have good development process like Indonesia? Murali, I don't even think Indonesia at the moment has a good development process. I think Indonesia will have to prove that they have a good development process. There are a lot of countries. Look at Thailand, look at Malaysia. So a lot of these Southeast Asian nations. So, yeah. So I don't think AIFF officials has done something that you have done over a couple of years. Thanks. I try and do my things. Try to help and support Indian football, but it's not always easy. But I will, as long as I can, as long as I am in a position to do things, I will try and influence things in a positive way for Indian football. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I will try. And very often people don't want that, but I will still try, and I will try and be as honest as I can. There are certain things which I can talk about, certain things which I cannot talk about or don't want to talk about, because I think those need to be staying in the background. But yeah, trying to do my things to do that. Good night, Akash. See you soon. Just watched the pre-game interview with Juan Benali regarding tomorrow's match. I generally feel some of these reporters need more media training themselves. The same basic questions being asked. Okay, Potato Alliance. Do you think we never focus on development process rather than more PR and PPT presentation? I think it's a problem, right? To sell to an Indian audience the realities. I think by selling pipe dreams, let's call them that's easier, right? 2047, people said, oh, you know what, we're on our way. So that's the challenge of talking about our issues, our problems, our challenges which we have, why we are not progressing the way we think that they could, would, should, need to progress, right? That's my concern at the moment, that we are not getting to the level that we want and that we need. And it's a huge challenge for Indian football. It's a huge challenge. Forget Indian football. It's a huge challenge for Indian sports, and we're not moving out of that. The days Ribery and Ian Robin combination in Bayern, yeah, but I wasn't playing with them. I was playing with the legends. So those former players who came and played. I didn't play with Ribery, Robin, or Schweinsteiger or Lahm, all these guys. Hey Shaggy, good to see you. It's hard to believe, but all other Asian countries will bring in their origin players and become strong. Meanwhile, we will go down again against lower teams too. Yeah, Mahesh, that's the reality. And I've said this story multiple times on this channel, that I've tried my bit over the last 23, now nearly 24 years to try and, get players of origin to play for India. and things sadly haven't changed, and that is my big concern. So it doesn't matter which government, and it's again with, I hope that it changes at some stage, but I'm not sure. One question from Shaggy: when will hear the SC verdict on the AIFF constitution? Has been ongoing for 2 years. I'm not mistaken. Shaggy, I don't know. It's You're correct. It's been ongoing since the FIFA ban, since then, and the current AIFF body is actually an interim body which was supposed to be replaced because the new constitution comes in, and then there will be elections under the new constitution. The problem also is if that new constitution is put in, um, the question then is that constitution also needs to go to FIFA before it's actually put into action. Does the Supreme Court consider that? Does it have it on its radar? So there are a lot of these small little questions here and there, and I don't know if we can actually look at them and sort things out in that way. Because I myself am quite worried about those things. If we're going to be able to do those things or not. But at the moment, it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge. And I hope that they hear the case, they clear the case, and then we can move on from there. Let's see. It's sad that in India, people watch European football and knows the player's name of lower division, but don't know any Indian footballer other than Sunil, and earlier Sunil was also unknown among Indian. Raj, very right. And before Sunil, they maybe knew Baichung Bhutia, and that was a lot. And that's something which is a reality. But again, I rather not get into a competition and say that these fans who watch European football should watch Indian football, or I would like them to let them watch European football, but let them support Indian football as well. And I remember we changed a little bit at Mumbai City that in 2014. I think some of these people are still supporting Indian football who are fans of European football. But again, these are small little things, small little steps to take. But again, you have to convince people to come, enjoy, be part of something. Therefore, very, very difficult task. Sorry, I had to just reconnect the device. Sorry for that. What's your take on Baichung as president? Difficult one. I would, if Baichung asked me as a friend and says, should I do it, should I not do it? I would always tell him, if you want to do it, you have to have the right people around you, the professionals who can run the federation. You be the face, you be the voice of Indian football, but bring the right people on board Because otherwise, I don't know if Baichung can run it in the way. So that would be my friendly advice to Bhutia. Supreme Court is busy in politician cases, not interested in football. Okay, Raj. I personally think a club professionally run by great management who fund their youth academy would move the needle more than AIFF. Theoretically, yes, but Rohit, one will not be enough. We would have to have 10 of these. Do you think our youngsters didn't go through proper process, not only football, other sports also, but in Europe, other countries, they get good exposure at young age? Yeah, I do agree on that. If you ask me, Murali, if that's one of the things, that's the difference, right? So that's the reality. I put my hope into clubs like BFC and Dempo FC who try to do things the right way and focus on players. If you have 4 or 5 clubs just like that and they will drive us, that would be great. 4 or 5 is not, as I said, 4 or 5 Rohit is not enough. I think you need a minimum of 10 clubs. And India is so great, so big, not great. India is so big. That is a challenge. That actually you need regional clusters of clubs competing with each other. That's, I think, another challenge that we have. I don't know how. I'm not going to go out of topic. Question, you missed previous question. What was it? Do you think future of football players is dark if state FA doesn't function properly? Yeah, it already is, right? Mizoram, again, good example, good FA taking right decisions. Sorry, so that's something which is needed. As Indian football fans, we ask questions and will continue to, but who will listen us and actually work on ground rather than fake announcements? Raj, you have a point there, but if you don't raise your voice and people don't know that there are fans who are willing to ask the right questions, and I know a lot of these people do follow social media, they don't act, but they do follow social media. Maybe one day the right people will run it. So let's see. If Baichung asks you to join as General Secretary for AIFF, would you join, or who would you recommend him if you can't do it? Rohit, who am I to recommend Bhutia? If he at all asks me, I'm not going to discuss it publicly. And if he asks me to join the AIFF in some sort of capacity, we'll have to talk. I don't know. I can't generally say yes or no. But my learnings in life are never say yes or never say no to something, because one day that position might be something that you might have to yeah. So I don't know what the answer is. And if I would recommend other people, again, if I'm recommending people, I will not do it publicly. Again, other people do that. I don't. My style of working is I rather speak to that person, give him my thought process, give him a few names maybe, and then it's for him to decide, or for him and his team potentially to decide. Every sport FA in India is corrupt and not running properly. That is why no one is improving. Cricket is also the same issue, but it doesn't reflect due to India's big team. That's all. Other sports, it will reflect so bad. Yeah, seems like it. Seems like Mizoram is front runners in India. I think with reliance in their scene, they would produce much, much better players, but it's a long process. Let's hope so, Renan. I think Mizoram has done a lot of things right, as I always like to say, over the last now 15 years, I would say. It's a challenge for them. But they're still doing it. And let's see when we will see those better level players from Mizoram coming through, because even with what's happening now, let's put standards, Mizo standards to it, right? Shiloh Malswam Tulunga was produced in the early 2000s. Mama was the first Mizo top level player at national level. Then we had JJ Lapeklua and Lalundi Karalte, where JJ, of course, was the more of a Sunil and Baichu mold, and Dika, or Didika as he now likes to call himself, one of the most talented footballers that I've seen. And then with Lalinzola Changte, I think the best Mizo footballer to come through the system so far. And I don't see any of the younger players who are good or decent, but no one is of Changte's level. So that's the question. Can you find these gems, right? If you're working on players and trying to improve them, you can improve them to a certain level. Where is that exceptional talent of a player? That is what I think the question is for the Mizoram FA or the Mizoram Football Association in full. It's also a question to Reliance, Nopang League, and all these things that they're doing. Can you find a Changte? Can you find a JJ? Can you find a Dika? Just to put it onto, or a Shiloh Malswam Tulunga out of that state. Do you think in today's people often fall into trap unrealistic expectation, but reality destroys the expectation? Yeah, that's a problem. Do you think after this much problems and loss to Afghanistan third side and crashing out of World Cup qualifiers, do you think there are still a lot of people believing football and supporting it? I don't know if they believe in it, but people are still supporting. So we wouldn't all be talking about Indian football if we were not supporting Indian football, right? So the people who join into these conversations, who follow my channel, who watch what I'm trying to produce and make. So therefore, yes, there are people. But I also see when I make videos that what are people following? If I look at the videos over the last few days, the speculative ones are the ones, the tough ones, the hard topic ones, people are not willing to watch the videos. As I said, I yesterday did a video on the manipulation in the Mizoram Premier League. Hasn't got that many views. Asked the question. I did a video the day before about FSDL and AIFF. That got the highest views in the last few weeks in regard to the short videos. Indian football leadership, not many people watched it. Football fans supporting, or even is football dead? No. There is more views in regard to East Bengal progressing to the Challenge League and, AFC Mohun Bagan. So that's the thing. But I also realize is that, or before that, the highest views is who's to blame for Indian football's failures. So that's the thing, right? Is are we really, willing to go into these things or no? Changte has that quality currently, is the best in India, but what about future? Raj, that's a good question, right? These players were produced at a time, or these players came through, again, let me phrase it differently. Most of these players came through despite the system, right? That is something which I think is the interesting one, right? And that is something that is a challenge in itself. So therefore, from that perspective, we are seeing players come through, even in a team sport like football, despite of the system. In individual sport, it is easier, but in a team sport, it is very, very tough. Watch for women footballers like Grace Honar from Mizoram, Young Sindhi Colony as well. So thanks, Shaggy, for this input and information. Women's football is also something that Mizoram is trying to grow. Manipur is way ahead, despite all the problems. Think about it. Bala Devi was in India international as a 14-year-old, right? So where are we? Where is the 14, 15-year-old girl where you'd say she can walk into a national team? Where is the 18, 19-year-old boy who will walk into the Indian men's national team? We don't have them at the moment. Baichung was, very, very young when he got into it. So these are all facts, tough facts sometimes, but these are facts of sports in India. Apart from hockey, badminton, javelin, I find other sports are lacking in development process. They got exposed in big arena. We keep on asking when Indians not getting medals in the development process. Yeah, Murali, it's one of those challenges and problems that we face. But again, to me, the starting and ending question will remain leadership. Without right leadership, we will not be able to do the right things, and that's that's at the end of the day the challenge is that can we find the right leadership to lead India in the Indian Olympic Association, in the sporting federations across disciplines, in the state, in the districts, where people generally want to do sports and want to grow the sports, and that remains my question, and that remains the challenge. People were asking on winning medals in Olympics, but they forgot to ask where is development process, what is the function of state FA. Only when we will win medals. Monali, these people don't know how the process is. Ask these people. If you know friends, family who ask the questions every 4 years at the Olympics, every 4 years when the FIFA World Cup comes around, they don't know the process. They're not bothered about the process. They just want success, right? If you ask how cricket talent is developed, I don't think most people know how it's developed. So these are Indian sporting realities of today, and again, we have to live with it. We have to live around it, work around it, and it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge, and we'll have to see where it all goes. Hi, Shuman. Welcome back. I am doing fine. Hope you are doing fine as well. Despite here the weather, terrible. Fog all day. But it's November, so it's supposed to be like this in Germany. Over 1 hour and 40 minutes, guys. Slowly thinking of coming towards the end. But before that, if you haven't, do leave a like. 22 likes so far. Thank you very much, everyone. And 1,907 subscribers at this moment. Thank you very much, everyone. As I always say, like, share, and subscribe. Do spread it to people. Let's get more people into these conversations. Do also spread the short videos if you can amongst family, friends who are interested in football. Do spread them around, that more people see that we can have more people joining our discussions, maybe even people who have some influence here and there, and that we can grow in this community. Before 1984 World Cup, what did cricket had to succeed? You need to show results and earn money, and without it, you can't grow. 1983, Raj, at Lords, the non-cricket person in me, I'm still, I still know that. But the point is not that. Reliance, Dhirubhai Ambani funded mainly the 1987 Cricket World Cup. The combination of winning the World Cup and hosting the World Cup jointly in South Asia, that is the starting point and the boom. And then you had Mr. Dalmia coming in, and the rest, as they say, is history. And they bought in money, and then Lalit Modi came around, created the model for the IPL. You had the ICL, which was a test case. BCCI reacted, created IPL, but football turned down Mr. Modi and his proposal to do a football version of the IPL, and so these are the things, right? And cricket has done a lot of things right with other sports haven't, and therefore they're there where they are. So we need to, there's a nice saying, pull up our socks and work harder to grow Indian football and to make it a success. That's the challenge on all of us. And therefore, that's why I say that when people ask, if you want to ask questions, who ask questions? Right? There's no right or wrong. But the problem is also to be careful when people are spreading information. Be thoughtful, be critical about that, especially in times like these, on days like these. There are no shortcuts in sports. Indians have to realize that. Shaggy, very important point. Very, 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 very important point. If you want to make shortcuts, if you want to take shortcuts, there's one shortcut, which we are not willing to take, and that is allow players of Indian origin. If we get players of Indian origin in, within 12 to 18 months, the national team would be on a different level, period. But we've not done that in 23, nearly 24 years. So therefore, I am not banking on that this is going to happen anytime soon. Reality. If I like it, you like it, doesn't matter. That's the reality of sports in India. And therefore, that's how it is. I have fever, so I'm late. Sorry. Oh, Shuman, first of all, get well, and then that you've come. Thanks a lot for joining. I really, really feel that. Great. Do you think Malappuram Sevens is overrated? what is overrated, what is underrated? Malappuram Sevens exist. People love to watch it. It's like Cape football in Bengal. So therefore, I don't know if it's overrated or if it's underrated. To me, that is something that people want to watch, people want to enjoy. That Sevens in Kerala and Cape football in Bengal is just about pure entertainment, and it's also a way for players to earn money. So it's a win-win for both sides. Has it any influence on football development or football structure? No. So yeah, it harms the game most probably, but that's it. Is it true that former India coach Rustam Akramov said that Bachung, if born in foreign country, would be superstar? I think, did Rustam Akramov said that, but he didn't say it about Bachung. I think he said it about I Am Vijay. Or am I wrong? I might be wrong. Yeah, I think it was I Am Vijay. I don't think it was about Bachung. I think he spoke about I Am Vijay, but I've said it as well. I think that if I Am Vijay was born an Argentinian or a Brazilian, he would have been a superstar with the technical abilities that he had. He would have been a world star or potential world star. Let's put it this way, not a world star, but a potential world star. Do you think there is a player lobby who are against PIO players to play for national team? Indian national players would lose their spots if players came to play for national team? No. I know of national team players who would have liked PIO players. When Michael Chopra in 2009, 2010 showed interest to play for India, the players were fully in support of that. So I don't think there is a lobby on that front. We are talking about football, but how many of people are sending our kids to grounds for sports? Suman, that's another problem. I think if I want to generalize it, I think football needs to be, forget football, I think sports needs to be a much more important topic in Indian society. We've got issues, especially with middle and upper class kids, about obesity and other things, movement and all. So therefore, I think it needs to be incorporated into the school curriculums, and therefore those things, are they happening? Are they not happening? I would say they're not happening, and therefore we are stuck where we are. And it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge for sports in India, and kids need to play. Kids need to understand the value of physical fitness and sports. I think a certain section does, the rest doesn't, and it's a very difficult one for staff in India. So I'm not sure where that journey is going in the long term, but I would hope that people understand what the value of sports is and make it and send their kids to sports. So that's something that I would say, that we need to ensure that kids play sports, and then again, whoever is talented comes through the system, not only in the cities, even in the smaller, so let's see. Sorry. Try vertical form of content to get more views. Yeah, Abhishek, I've thought about it, but again, I do these things. This is social media, and creating content is not really my don't have too much of time. Again, if I had a team behind me, I would just do a video, someone would edit, put it on, I could do it. But yeah, shorts, I know, to create shorts, to put it out on Insta as well, I think I should do something. But again, I just don't have the time because there's a lot of editing involved in it. And therefore, at the moment, I'm trying to do a short video every day, and this live, that's the maximum I can spend. Again, I still have to work in this sport. I mean, lots of football experts who call them experts and pretend to know the relatives, but they actually don't, and give false hope to people. Raj, that's sad, right? Therefore, I always say is, if you like it or not, especially last year after India won the SAF, I said, false dawn, false hope. I saw the team play twice against Lebanon and against Kuwait, and they couldn't convince me. And I even told the players that when I met them in the evening after winning the SAF Cup. And yeah, didn't like it, but they understood from whom it came from and what I meant. And therefore, that's the reality. Therefore, that's what I'm saying, that you guys need to help me grow, that more people reach this channel, watch this channel, and that, we can educate more people to understand where we are, what we need to do, and hopefully then things will change. The bigger this legion or this army becomes of people who are willing, like-minded people, to come together to fight for the right cause, to fight for Indian football, and not showcase that, I'm fighting for Indian football, but you're actually fighting for yourself and your own pockets and your own interests. That will not, that's the reality. And that's that's what I can try and do, what I have been doing, and I will continue to do. And I hope I have you guys on my side and on this journey. And let's work towards that, right? And yeah, it's not easy. It will not change easily, and therefore we need to continue to work on those things. We're literally a football illiterate society. Yeah, Rene, sounds hard. Maybe it's a little too hard, but sometimes I do feel that's the reality. So again, thanks a lot for this long. It's 1 hour 50 minutes already plus. So I need to come to an end. I need your support as always. Like, share, and subscribe. Maybe those who are watching later on this video have joined late. Do that. 24 likes, 1,907 subscribers. Thank you to the old ones and also to the new ones. And I hope that we continue these conversations and more people join in our conversations, that we are not tens of people or hundreds of people or thousands of people down the road, and that we can sort of change things down the road. So thanks again for that. And Renal, can we beat Malaysia? Of course we can. And extra time, Abhishek, yes. And now extra time is also over. I'll be back tomorrow after the game, Kerala Blasters versus Hyderabad FC, talking about the latest in Indian football and general discussion on Indian football. See you tomorrow. Good night.